one of the people that are helping to heal and that have that responsibility is Eulalio Diaz. He is Uvalde's Justice of the Peace. Uvalde does not have a medical examiner. And on Tuesday, Mr. Diaz was asked to help and identify the bodies of the 21 victims after Tuesday's school shooting. Mr. Diaz, I thank you for being with us. This is such a difficult time for everyone, and what you had to do, what you had to see, what you had to sign is unimaginable. How are you? First, how are you doing?
I'm holding up. Like I said, it's been some tough times between these last almost 48 hours now of mixed emotions, highs and lows. It's been a tough time. I mean, my job was to when I was called out to the scene again. Like I was under the impression, due to the rumors and the rumblings around town, whenever the ambulances were running through town, there was maybe 2 or 3 people. When I got there, of course, I was told 16 or 17 children. And like I said, my heart dropped. And at that point, I knew that this was not anything I had ever imagined or could have ever imagined happened. But at that point, like I said, I've had a lot of support. And I know we're a small county, so we don't have a medical examiner. So my duties as a Justice of the Peace for the state of Texas, the Constitution lays out that we're the coroner of the county. So we're in charge of handling what they call unattended deaths that are not from people that are not admitted to the hospital, or deaths from people that are in a nursing home or under hospice. Anything else, we are the ones that are going to sign the death certificate and determine manner and cause of death. But at that time, when I got to the scene, I had a meeting with the Texas Rangers. We agreed that we were going to go ahead and include and reach out to the Bexar County Chief Medical Examiner, Dr. Molina. Spoke to her on the phone. She asked that I send her an email, giving her permission to come to Uvalde to assist us. I'm grateful that she did show up. Took her about an hour and a half, 2 hours to get here. Once she got here, we did make our way into the scene and to assess what we were seeing. Of course, the whole group, the Rangers, the police, the high school police chief, the school police chief, Peter Arredondo, the whole group of efforts of people who worked to identify the victims, because, children don't have IDs, they don't have name tags, they don't have anything. So we have to make sure that we identify the right person. So again, we were tasked to go out and the officers went out and got information from the parents, pictures, descriptions of what they might be wearing, what they look like, and so that we could kind of match up closely to who they were and know who they were before. We signed the order to send them to the Bexar County Medical Examiner. So that, of course, we went through that painful process of making sure everybody was, go ahead. We went through that painful process of ensuring that everybody was, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt, and I do this, of course, with the underlying profound respect and sensitivity for what happened here and for the families that have to deal with this. But I'm just wondering, when you saw what you saw and when you dealt with what you dealt with, how do you in your own mind see it? How do you describe it to yourself?
The worst nightmare I could have imagined. In the moment, once I've set my mind, of course, I was called out at 2:30. By the time I went in, it was probably 5:30. By the time I went with the American, by that time I had prepared myself to be as professional and as thorough as I could be. This is my job. I have to do this. Not that I wanted to do this, it's just something that I had to do. And I have to show respect, and I have to respect the parents and respect the loved ones, the survivors, and have to treat the victims with respect and make sure that I get them to the right person and get this process done as quickly as I can. Now, Bexar County Medical Examiner does take a couple of, it only takes 24 to 48 hours. Last night we released the Bexar County Medical Examiner released 10 of the victims back to Uvalde, to their families, to the funeral homes, so that they could make arrangements and be with their families. As I was speaking, they should be en route. We'll have 10 more of the victims being released now and en route back to Uvalde, and later this afternoon, 2 more. So I'll have all 21 victims will be back in Uvalde this afternoon, back with their families, back where they belong. And at that point, of course, it doesn't stop, because at that point, the families have to make arrangements with the funeral homes, and the grieving process continues, because at that point, I could only imagine the distraught of having to do a funeral service for a child, for your child. I mean, I'm a parent. I have a senior in high school who was set to graduate tomorrow, and I have a child in 8th grade. So this school, this district means a lot to me. This town means a lot to me. I went to Robb School. My kids went to Robb School. We all went to Robb School. This is something that we would have never imagined in a million years, and it's just going to be pain. It's going to be a long process of healing. And again, it's just, for me personally, I go through the motions during the day, might break down in the evenings, but try to be strong to make sure I do my job, because the families are counting on me to get their loved ones back and bring them back to Uvalde.
Justice Eulalia Diaz, thank you.